What's up, guys? It's your boy Astro. I'm coming at you with a late video, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about a topic that I've seen on Twitter pretty recently, basically today. My friends Radiant and Eon brought them up, and it is about the idea of negative penalty in fighting games, and is it really necessary? What does it do? And why do people feel the way they feel about it? Okay, so starting off, let's talk about what exactly is negative penalty. A lot of you guys have probably heard it, and I know a lot of people are getting into Guilty Gear Strive with the betas and stuff coming out, and you've probably incurred it before if you're not familiar with it. And if you are familiar with it, then this section isn't really for you, but I'm going to explain it for the newer people. Negative penalty is a state of penalization, or literally a penalty that is negative, that is given to a player for being in a state of constant retreat for too long. This can be noted by things like up backing constantly, backdashing a lot, IADing backwards, and just kind of generally playing what a lot of people would say is lame. Now, I don't like using the term lame because I would like to, in this video, I'm going to talk about the difference between the idea of slow playing and stalling. But we'll have more on that later. Now, there is a negative stigma around negative penalty, and it's that it enforces or it encourages a guerrilla style of play. It's kind of just yeet it in there and see how it goes, and just do your best plus frame move and get in the opponent's face and get a mix and do whatever. But I feel that there's a little bit more to negative penalty than that, and that's what I'm going to explain a little bit more. Is that I feel that negative penalty is not as much a pace in it's less of a pace racer and more of a pace enforcer, right? It stops people from doing things that we have all felt, especially if you play games like this, if you play games like you know, BB Tag, games that are, well, BB Tag's actually a bad example because that game's super fast, but a game like this, right, where you have those situations where players who are in a situation of advantage and they don't feel the need to approach, they will hold up back, call an assist. This is more famous with C assist, where they're just basically constantly in a state of retreat, and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna hold up back and call my stuff until you get hit and I can get a combo and win the game, right? When I really think that negative penalty enforces more natural and positive interaction between players. I feel that when you have negative penalty within the game, it gives players a reason to start to look into more of the in-depth scenarios that fighting games have to offer, right? And this is where we're going to get into the explanation of what is called the mental stack. So when we talk about the mental stack, what do we mean? What we mean is the ability to compress information on the screen in order of most important to least important, right? So you have all your frame data, all your knowledge of your character, the specials and things like that, you know, matchups, right? But within that, you need to understand the kind of order of operation that things need to go, right? So we'll start with Gotenks and Android 21, right? So Gotenks and Android 21. Gotenks, 6 frame button, 7 frame button, 2L low, 5L mid. 21, 6 frame button, 7 frame button, right? 2L low, 5L mid. Okay, now these buttons are both very good. These are both very good buttons. Both these characters have decent range on their 5Ls and 2Ls, and they work, right? Now the question is, when we're sitting at a range like this where the button's not going to reach, do you have to worry about it? The obvious answer to that is no. It needs to be removed from your mental stack. Now, instead of thinking about 21 6 frame 5L, if I'm playing Gotenks, I need to start thinking about things like her 5M, right? Because her 5M can hit me where her 5L cannot, right? 2M, right? 3M, things like that. Her Key Blast, 2S, ball, up ball, EX ball, right? All these things that are now in the forefront of my mind because she can't hit me with a jab. There's nothing that she can do from right here before I can react to it to hit me with a jab, right? Now, for the opposite, if the 21 player is playing against me, when we're at a range of about here, she has to worry about things like Lariat, Beyblade, right? Beyblade assist. We have to worry about punches. We have to worry about ki blast, beam, all those specials that hit in that range. And the mental stack gets thinner and thinner the farther you get away, right? Because of course, less and less things can affect you the farther you are from your opponent. And I believe that the problem with negative penalty, or at least the problem that people have with negative penalty, is that they have trouble of organizing this mental stack. In other words, I'm going to use the term, it's not, I don't mean it to be an insult, but it's weak. Your mental stack is weaker, and you feel that without negative penalty trying to rush you back into the game, you have the ability to breathe, jump back, read the situation, and kind of gather yourself before you can make a move. Now, I'm going to talk about why that isn't necessarily the best thing in terms of a game's health. So if you remember earlier, we were talking about the difference between slow playing and stalling. This is something that is easily seen by players who are knowledgeable of the games that they are playing, players who have experience with the games that they are playing, and for people who have experienced it themselves. If you have been slow played, you know it. If you have been stalled, you know it. The best case that I can find for each situation is you usually find it in this game with this. And as soon as I did it, you already know what happened, okay? You have a player, you're probably, you know, health bars are messed up, Gogeta's at, you know, 57, Trunks is at, we'll say 36, Gotenks is whatever. They have all three characters, you have one. I definitely did the wrong health bar. Cool, do that. Okay, so in situations like this, I, as the player with 3 assists, have the advantage, right? But a lot of the time, people don't take this advantage because they understand that there's no reason for them to approach. I have Spark, I have 3 characters, you have Spark, you have 1 character. If you hit me, I'm probably gonna die, right? If you hit any of my assists, if I call them wrong, they're probably gonna die, right? Now, a lot of people consider it slow playing to, you know, kind of chill back and let the assists do the work. Now, to score a hit, I'm not saying that's a bad strategy. A lot of the time, actually, this is the best strategy. But when you incur things like negative penalty, it stops it from being a situation of non-interaction between the 2 players. If, as we are in the state of the game right now of Dragon Ball, right, I could sit back here, I can call these assists, I can see assists, do whatever I gotta do, you know, I can just up back, whatever, you know, block a super dash, keep calling Gogeta, keep calling Trunks until the timer runs out, right? There is no interaction between that. That 21 can sit on the other side of the screen the whole entire game for 158 counts and nothing's gonna happen, right? This situation, a lot of people, I feel like I've been a part of this situation a lot more than other people, right? Where you're just kind of getting assists thrown at you, and it seems less that the other person is trying to put you in a bad position to where they can score a hit, as opposed to them kind of holding back, hanging back, up backing, and praying that they can get a hit, right? And that is one of the things about negative penalty that needs to be seen, is that it encourages players to learn how to navigate and like read screens, read situations, and be able to interact with the other player in a healthy way, right? Now, when you have situations like we have currently, I know you guys know, there's at least, everybody knows that one player that when they get in a situation where they're down, they have 7 bars, 6 bars, right? Everything is yeehaw vanishes. I gotta get in, 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 right? These type of force situations and like, oh my gosh, I gotta get in, oh my gosh, I got a gorilla, oh my gosh, I got an unga, only comes because we have situations where players are allowed to sit and just kind of chill, right? And chill to the point where it kills the flow of the game, right? And that's when I was saying before about negative penalty being a pacemaker for the game, right? Kind of like keeping the flow going, keeping the interactions between the players in check, so that it's not just one player sitting on the other side of the screen and one player sitting on, you know, both players sitting on opposite sides of the screen, just like, you know, recklessly doing things, trying to, oh my gosh, please don't hurt me. the difference is the idea of me playing neutral in this situation, right? This 21 being here and me trying to get in, you know, score a hit, okay, get her to block so I can get a mix up, maybe trying to force a situation where I can get a cross up, force a bad move out of my opponent, like, oh, maybe they think they could super dash and I can 2H them out of it, right? There's a difference between thinking like that in terms of the macros of the game, like higher level players do, or like players even of mid level, right? Where you're looking to enforce your advantage, as opposed to what we were talking about earlier. Chill back, ceases. Oh my gosh, I got a hit, right? Now, I understand that this is something that isn't a newer player centric, right? A lot of these games recently have been felt like they've been made to cater to newer players, but I feel that when you do that, you isolate and you alienate players who look for that type of challenge within their games, right? There's ways to make it, like, there's certain types of things about games that are just going to be difficult, and I think that that's something that gaming companies or companies that make these games need to understand, is that it's okay for stuff to be hard, right? Learning how to handle the mental stack and learning how to read situations and react in a timely manner with the proper tools is what's going to make a good player good. And when you encourage situations that we have seen across Dragon Ball, all types of willy-nilly, people complain about it on Twitter, people complain about it on Reddit, people complain about it on their mom's Yahoo account or whatever, right? That's when we start seeing unhealthy interaction within the game, and that's what negative penalty goes to diffuse. So there you guys go. That's my thoughts on negative penalty. I'm wondering how you guys feel about it. What side of the spectrum are you on? Are you with me, where you think that negative penalty is a positive thing in games and you like it and you'd like to see it in more games? Or are you on the other side, where you think that negative penalty is terrible and it should be taken out of games? And why is it here? You know, you guys go ahead and let me know in the comments. By no means, also, I want everybody to know this video is not, in no way am I trying to state that anything I'm saying is fact. Obviously, this is all based on opinions of things that I've just observed through watching games and through my experiences with different fighting games with and without negative penalty. So I hope you guys have a great day. That's it for me. I'm gonna go lay down. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning over here. I'll catch y'all